Guys, I have a dark theory why the XRP price is stuck at $2, and I think something might be cooking right now at Davos. And remember, this is just a theory purely for speculation and not financial advice. I think the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, has Ripple in a strategic chokehold and is holding down the XRP price to force an orchestrated takeover. There, I said it. Think about it. Ripple is a private company and their main liquidity power comes from the value of the XRP escrow. And if the XRP price stays pinned at $2, the war chest stays limited. BlackRock is orchestrating a strategic squeeze designed to force Ripple permanently into a corner until they have no choice but to accept an offer they can't refuse. And if you think my theory is a little wild, remember guys, BlackRock's $23 trillion Aladdin system that these institutions rely on just might be the one thing that can actually decide when XRP is allowed to pump. What if Aladdin's that switch we've been talking about all this time? And if you don't realize how big that software is, they control more institutional money flow than the GDP of Germany, Japan, and the UK combined. And haven't you always been a little curious why BlackRock hadn't filed that ETF yet? Even though XRP is setting records out there? Maybe this whole time they had much bigger plans. Who has time for this little baby ETF when you're going to buy the whole farm? But don't fret, because if this were to happen, it's still good for the XRP community, because once they control both the XRP supply and the company, Aladdin flips that switch and that supply shock becomes the biggest wealth transfer in history. And the XRP price finally gets to go to the moon. But I do have to ask a fair question. Did Brad and Ripple ever really care about the XRP army? Or were they just using us for liquidity to build the infrastructures to set up the biggest institutional buyout and financial takeover in history?